Hi everyone, it's Tamika. I go by she and her pronouns, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Um, if you are following, you probably noticed that I've been quiet for a couple of days. I've been dealing with a pain flare up, and I've been dealing with medication management or mismanagement in terms of assisting me with my pain. So I was definitely not in the position to be online and to be making any videos. So it's taken me now about 3 or 4 days for things to kind of like settle down to a certain degree. That doesn't mean that all of a sudden I have zero pain, because that's not the case. My hands are still tingling as I'm speaking to you, but I have managed to get back on a regime that's more consistent to help me in terms of being better with the chronic pain management. It's looking as if, from what my healthcare professionals are saying, that I have potentially markers for fibromyalgia, and that's a type of chronic pain condition that is it's neuropathic. It's a nerve pain. You can't really see that on an X-ray per se, and also it doesn't really go away. You have to make a lot of lifestyle adjustments, and diet is one. Healthy nutrition, sleep hygiene, something I still struggle with. And I know a lot of you are living with chronic pain. Struggling with sleep hygiene is a really big thing, because not getting at least a good 7.5 to 8 hours of sleep is only going to exacerbate your pain level if you're already suffering with pain. And the thing is, when you're in pain, falling asleep and staying asleep and getting good sleep, they all ricochet off each other in a negative impact. So that's something that I'm also having to work on as well. And that's a gradual process. Sometimes medication is helpful. Other times relaxation techniques, breathing, meditation, praying. There's a tapping meditation. There's a tapping technique that people use. There's like different types of relaxation techniques that are out there. Maybe I'll make a video and I'll talk about relaxation techniques. Breathing for me is the big one. Being able to be aware of my breath, breathing in and out, and being mindful that I am consciously really taking in those really helpful, deep breath. So I'm bringing in air and I'm releasing the air at the same time. Not always possible when I'm really suffering with a pain flare up, though. So that's the other thing. When I'm in the midst of a pain flare up, using some of these techniques, it's really challenging because my mind just won't allow me to go there. But one of the things I wanted to share with you today was about trauma support groups that are aimed for Black people. For Black women in particular. And I do a couple of support groups through the Canadian Mental Health Association. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you're looking for support groups, I would encourage you, because they do talk about things, and they do have support groups that are helpful for people living with chronic pain and past traumas. Whether it happened to you in your formative years or whether it's a trauma that you're currently living through, it's going to have a negative impact on your pain management or your ability to manage your pain. And I think that we don't really talk about that enough as a community of Black people. Particularly as Black women, we talk around our strength, how strong we are, no matter what we've been through, we're still standing, and they're not going to get us down, and we'll just pick ourselves right back up again, and we'll start the process over. And although resiliency is important, that's another aspect to healing. That in and of itself, without actually unpacking the trauma, facing the trauma, and healing the trauma that has happened, it can manifest in different ways. And one of the ways it can manifest is inside your body and with the pain, or having gone through these various traumas that you've never addressed, and now you're living with chronic pain. That's not going to help. So I really do think it's important that we talk about that we talk about the microaggressions that happen in the workplace, that just chip away at your self-esteem and your self-worth little by little each day. The commentary, being ignored. Maybe nobody talks to you in the break room, or maybe they do talk to you, but in a way that's condescending and demeaning. Being looked over for different promotions, being passed over continuously, constantly going out for interviews, and knowing that you're really qualified and prepared, and yet being told you just don't, like, they keep moving the goalposts and you just don't meet it. Those are little micro traumas that do have an impact on your self-worth, whether or not you want to admit it. Then there's the outright ones where you're just being outwardly discriminated against just for the way you look, because of the color of your skin, the way that you wear your hair, the intonation of your speech. All of those things are very direct. I find that Canadian racism is very subtle and it's very overt, and they think that they're cute with it, that you can't catch it. If you're paying attention, you will catch it, because it is there. People are not going to come out and outwardly use, I'll just say for the purpose of YouTube, the N-word into your face. I'm sure there are people who are ignorant enough to do that, but more than likely they're going to be behaving towards you as if they did say that to your face. And it's really hard to put your finger on it, right? Kind of like the pain that I have, the chronic pain. It's really hard to see it, so it's easy to dismiss it. And if we dismiss all these traumas and we don't deal with these traumas, they don't go away. We just carry it with us like an invisible knapsack, and you take it with you everywhere, and it impacts everything that you do. And you might, if you're a parent, then pass it on, or you might contaminate the rest of your family with it because you haven't done anything with it. You're just carrying it with you. So again, I just want to emphasize the importance of support groups, of psychotherapy, relaxation techniques, stress management, specifically to us as Black women who are constantly being told that we need to be strong. We really need to debunk and tear apart this myth of the strong Black woman. I want to say it's Michelle Wallace who wrote the book. And she is an activist, and she really wrote about, just what that myth means and what it looks like, and the negative impacts that it has on our lives, and how they use that against us as well. You're strong, you can take it. I'll keep burdening you. I'll keep putting my burdens on top of you, on top of you, on top of you. And if you break in half, oh, well, I guess you weren't as strong as you said that you were. We have to be able to say, I'm not carrying this load. I don't need to carry this load. And I'm totally fine with that. So if you need to get help and support out there, please do what you need to do to seek supports. Don't be embarrassed. I'm on here on YouTube and I'm sharing with you my struggles, because I know that the few people who are seeing this, at least they can understand what it is that I'm experiencing and going through, and that I'm not alone. I know that others are going through it, and that you might know others who are experiencing it as well. So share it with them. I always say, if my words are resonating with you in any capacity, please do share it, because that could start a conversation for someone that could lead them in the direction of getting the help and the support that they need. It's taken me a long time to get here, to get the supports. I should also say, as an update, my referrals are coming through gradually, slowly, over the next several weeks, which means I'll be seen by more specialists, more appointments, and at least I'll be getting a better idea of what it is exactly that's the underlying root cause. But I also know it's not just the physical. I don't want to just deal with the physical. It's important to deal with the psychological, the emotional, and the spiritual as well. And I think in my last video, I talked about having a bucket of supports and what they look like. So don't just look at the one aspect of, yes, you're living with chronic pain or living with underlying medical condition. You have to also look at yourself as a whole person. The medical health system won't look at you as a whole person, so you have to seek out those supports to help you. So that's what I wanted to really share with you today. I wanted to share, to tear apart this strong Black woman myth, because it's helping nobody. It's causing more pain, and it's tearing apart more families, and it's hurting more and more Black women and girls than it needs to be. So let that go. Just shed that. Don't carry that with you anywhere, because you don't need to carry that load. So I like to sign off and say, please, please, likes, share and subscribe to my channel if you're finding it useful, if you're finding it helpful, if you're finding it educational. And as always, listen to Black women, amplify our stories, amplify our voices, and believe what we have to say. Black women have been speaking out for years, but nobody's really listening. So amplify our voices and our stories. And if you're an ally, you would have no problem doing that. So I just wanted to share that with all of you today, and I hope that you have a blessed day. And remember to listen to Black women. We are lovable, we are worthy, and we are worthy and deserving of love. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching my channel. Have a great day. Bye.